Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Awaken Your Energetic Body to Whole Body Orgasm. Orgasm is such an amazing experience when we are connected to our heart, when we're completely present to the experience, and when we're enjoying the building up, the connection, the sensations, and our hearts are open and we feel safe and we feel supported and we are open to just allowing ourselves to feel everything that arises. And so I'm going to guide everyone in an awareness of the steps to open ourselves, body, mind, and soul, to this experience of allowing this sexual, sacred, sensual energy, which is your creative energy. And so when we are connecting to the sacral, sexual, energetic flow, we're also opening up to our creativity flow and our emotional flow. We're receiving this sexual energy amplification, and we're also allowing ourselves to flow abundance, to be in more of the abundance mindset and body. And so when we're in lack, we're stressed out and we're closing off and we're feeling like we have to protect ourselves or hide. And that cuts off our ability to receive. And so it's really amazing how wealthier people that have more riches, they're able to receive more. And people that are in lack and scarcity, they have a hard time. They struggle with abundance flow. And so if you're a person that struggles with money, if it's hard for you to accept, then you can actually change your relationship with the flow of receiving by orgasming and allowing yourself to learn what I'm going to teach you. And when you are stimulating your sexual energy flow, you're in this place of creativity, expansion. And so you can also do something called Tantra magic, where you're imagining while you're stimulating your pleasure what you want to create. And this is an exercise called Tantra magic. And so Tantra means to weave, and it's this amazing ancient practice. It's a way of living, it's a way of being, where we are allowing the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, all of who we are to be felt in every moment. And it's a dance between the divine masculine and feminine energies within us, the polarities. And when we allow ourselves to feel whatever is arising in the moment, we're living a tantric life, a way of aliveness. And Tantra is all about expanding, and it's about liberation. So Tantra, that's what it means, expansion and liberation. And so what's not Tantra is you're with someone that you like a lot, your partner, you're making love, and maybe you feel like you want to start to cry because you're so in rapture of the moment, but then you block your emotions. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to cry. I'm orgasming and I don't want to show, he's going to think that I'm crazy or something, So when you block your emotions and you suppress your feelings, you're not being tantric. Tantra is everything that is alive in you is being fully expressed, fully felt, and it's rising inside of you. You're allowing your breath, your sound, your movement, and your intention to be free inside of you. So those four things make up a tantric experience: breath, movement, sound, and intention. So for breath, we're connecting to our diaphragmatic breathing, expanding our abdomen, pelvic floor, the chest, everywhere. And it's not just the upper chest. So when people do upper chest breathing, usually it's because we're stressed out or we're in fear mode, and we use more this. I don't know if you've ever seen people that they just move their chest when they breathe. And so diaphragmatic breathing is when I'm going to just show you my profile here, when we expand our abdomen. So I'm going to inhale and expand, and then exhale diaphragmatic breathing, there's an expansion. My abdomen expands. I'm overdoing it so that you can really see it. And then exhale. Ah. So upper chest breathing would be my stomach actually goes in, and that means I'm not using my diaphragm. And so when you use your diaphragm to breathe, your diaphragm is this dome-shaped muscle. When you inhale, it contracts down, and then it hits your viscera, your organs, and it can't move anymore, and then your ribs laterally expand. So there's this three-dimensional expansion, which causes energy to move up your body when you're doing diaphragmatic breathing. And so what happens a lot in just 3D sex, where it's just physical, people usually are not expanding their breath, and they're not really able to allow that sexual energy to move. And so if you have sex and you're like this, uh, 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 people sometimes do that where they're exhaling. So men might be moving their body, they're inside their goddess, and they're just they're exhaling. They're actually keeping their energy down. And then those experiences, usually you feel tired after, you're drained. It's like very physical. Or when we're pounding our goddess, and it's very physical, and you're like, stimulate me, make me come, and it's very dense, it's very physical only. That is more the lower chakra sex, where it's not so much about the energy at all, and it's really physical. And that's what most people have. It's like, stimulate me, stimulate my clitoris, finger me, or pound me, or penis going in really fast, and like all your attention is focused on your vagina. Or gentlemen, all your attention is at the tip of your penis, and you're just really focusing on the pleasure there. We've all been there. That is not tantra. Tantra is when you're moving your body in and out of your goddess, your penis is going in and out, and you're feeling that pleasure, and you're breathing like this. And it feels so good to be inside her. And you're feeling that intensity, that pleasure, and it starts to cause these beautiful, I feel like they're 4th of July fireworks inside your spine, and you just, your whole body just starts to quiver, and there's this aliveness. This is like you're possessed, and there's a snake that's just moving inside you. You're just and you're breathing and the sounding. Yes, and I hope you all can appreciate my openness to role play. And so you're saying more. Yes, I accept it, I receive it. And so inhalation means inspiration. You're inspiring yourself. You're taking in that sexual experience, that energy. It's rising through your whole body. If you're doing this, literally, look at my face, and you're just keeping it down. This is what most people do. Most people are not expanding, not aware they're breathing. And so that's why you feel depleted. It doesn't make you feel more energized. And so this is something I'm going to teach you now, how to harness that energy and circulate it. The other thing I want to mention is your whole body is orgasmic. Your whole being is energy. And so if you limit yourself to only the tip of your penis, like if you think about it, gentlemen, where do you feel the most pleasure when you sex? When you're penetrating your goddess, where do you feel the most intense pleasure? And for the goddesses, where do you feel the most pleasure when you sex? And so, for example, maybe the clitoris maybe for some women, they're so focused on the clitoris, and maybe it's not your G spot, maybe it's not your vagina, maybe it's really hard for you to orgasm when you're being penetrated. Or some women, they orgasm when their partner is just sucking on their nipples or biting, or maybe the side of their waist. So the more you massage yourself and your partner, and you awaken all of your body, your whole body becomes electric. But if all you do is stimulate your clitoris, 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 your brain is going to think that that's all you are, sexual. And so for the gentleman, there's this technique I just have to share. I don't know if you know this already. When you start at the root of your penis, at the base, that's the closest to your prostate. And so it's going to feel different. It's very grounding to be stimulated here. And then you can stimulate upwards, but twisting. And so you're, instead of just doing this, you can do this, and you could also just do the tip. So I don't know if you already know this technique. When you move in the transverse plane, up and down, it's no longer a sagittal plane activity. This is very linear, so you don't get that transverse stimulation. And so when you do this three-dimensional going up and down, twisting like a corkscrew, gentlemen, you're gonna feel like, wow, this is like, whoa, woo! It's so much more stimulating than just, and so by the same token, when you're fingering your goddess, you can also do, I call this the windshield wiper, where you're moving in the transverse plane, your finger, and that's gonna make her feel so much more aliveness rather than just in and out, which is linear. So those are like priceless for the gentleman. She's going to be like, wow, you're amazing. Nobody's ever done that to me. So these are like, take notes and remember that one. It's life-changing. It's amazing. Okay. So we're going to start with the breathing right now. And I invite you to, for this exercise, you can just sit up. And I'm sitting with my legs in a lotus position, but you can also just be sitting on a chair, or you could be sitting in a bench. Definitely, if you're on your bed, put a little towel under your tushy so that or a pillow under your buttocks, so that you feel that your pelvis is supported. And what you're gonna do is I'm gonna just show you this because it's easier to understand. It's called microcosmic orbit breathing. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna pretend that you could actually breathe into the back of your body. So you're gonna inhale up to your third eye. And so you're gonna breathe up the back of your body and go over your head to the third eye, and that's inhalation. So it goes like this. Bring awareness to your base. You're gonna breathe awareness up your spine, up the back of your body. Inhale, and you stop at the third eye. So inhaling up, hold your breath, and bring your awareness to your third eye. Hold it, hold it. You don't have to move your hand as I am. I'm just showing you how the awareness of your breath going up the back of your body to the forehead, to the third eye, and then stop breathing. So you inhale, pause, and keep all your attention at your third eye. Hold it. And then when you're ready, you're going to exhale down the front of your body, awareness down the front of your body, back to behind you, to the sacrum. So you're going to inhale up the back of your body. Hold that awareness in your third eye. And then exhale down the front of your body. So we're orbiting around behind to the third eye. Hold it there as you inhale. And then exhale down the front of your body. Close your eyes and let's do 5 microcosmic orbit breaths. Inhaling the back of your body. Exhaling the front of your body. Inhale up the back of your body. Exhale down the front of your body. Feeling the energy of your body. We're cultivating that energy. Inhaling up the back of your body to the third eye. And then exhaling back down. So we're rising up the back of the body to the third eye. And then we're exhaling down the front of the body. And you can keep your tongue underneath the upper palate behind your teeth. The front 2 teeth on top. Deep abdominal breathing. And then exhaling back down. And noticing how this exercise makes you feel. So this is a way of energizing ourselves to preserve our energy and to re-energize, especially your jing or your essence. And it's very massaging also for the low back, just to bring your awareness, this flowing energy. It helps to purify the body mentally, physically, spiritually. And so take a moment and you can comment down below how you feel now, having shifted your awareness to your breath, the movement of your breath, your intention to flow. And so when we connect to our breath and we connect to the present moment, this is a wonderful place to feel our sexual energy flow from this place. And so this is an exercise you could do laying down, you can do it sitting, you could do it standing. It's wonderful to do before sleep, before making love, before having a meal. In the morning, you can do this also just to re-energize and feel calm and centered. Okay? Now what we're gonna do, I wanna just touch upon how we have different parts of the body where it's more pleasurable than other parts, where we feel more sexual. So for example, your inner thighs, there are pleasure nerves more around the anus. So when you kind of touch your buttocks, you can all get naked now. So when you caress your buttocks, especially around your anus, the skin around your anus, it's very pleasurable to touch there, it tickles. And also the sides of your waist, around your nipples and your nipples. These are sensitive areas. The back of the neck, if you've ever had anybody blow in the back of your neck or kiss you or bite you or lick you, this is a very sensitive area. And so what I encourage you to do right now is explore where you feel more sensitive. The tip of the penis is so sensitive. The clitoris, especially when we lift the hood, very sensitive area. And so if you want to just take a moment, I would recommend not to touch your genitals for this exercise, to explore where does it feel really good to touch myself. And you could start at the top of your head. And so where do I feel are my pleasure points? Does it arouse me for me to caress my hair and my scalp? Does it feel sexy, sexual to caress the back of my head, to touch the sides of my neck? And so you're doing this with yourself to awaken your own connection to your pleasure in your own body. And so you can lightly touch yourself. I'm caressing my arm. And take a deep breath while you do that. Remember, we're breathing up. And so I'm just caressing with my finger pads. You see? It's light touch. And so maybe it feels different to stroke the back of your arm than it does to stroke the front of your arm. Eyes are closed and you're feeling your body. Where do I feel the most pleasure? The sides of the waist, these are pleasure, very heightened sensitivity here around the sides of the waist. And the sides of the chest. I invite you to explore and just be open to what feels right for you. Of course, our genitals feel really good, right? Usually. So explore the other areas. Explore caressing your outer thighs. And then how does that feel for me? And so we can caress with the pads of our fingers, and we can also scratch. Which one's more arousing? Just notice. This is pure tactile touch, scratch, stroke, massage. You don't necessarily need oil for this exercise. You're just exploring. And you're not doing this to orgasm. You're just doing this to be curious. So Tantra is all about being curious and being an explorer, an adventurer. It's not about getting somewhere. It's not about expectations and end goal. That's not Tantra. Tantra is about what's alive right now in me. What am I feeling? And then you can go also to your inner thighs, opening up your legs, and go to the back of your inner thighs where your buttocks is, caressing up and down. This is an area right where the genitals meet the inner thighs that feels really good to stroke up and down. You're on the inner thigh, very close to your genitals. And I invite you to close your eyes and just feel how good that feels to stroke up and down around your labias, around your testicles, but you're not yet touching your testicles. It's around the outer periphery. Inhaling up as you continue to stroke your inner thighs. Becoming more sensitive to this lightness, feeling this pleasurable feeling of light touch. When we touch ourselves lightly or scratch and breathe, it's making us more aware of that subtle energy. And now you're going to go behind your knees. scratching behind your knees. So you can watch me here. I'm going to be touching behind my knee, caressing and scratching, and breathing up my spine. Combining the movement with the breath. So when you're breathing up, have fun with this. You could be more firm, and you can just focus on one leg. You can do this laying down with your eyes closed, and you're just feeling. And so we just did a lot of light touch, and we did a lot of scratch. Something else you can do is just deeper touch, medium pressure. And so you're feeling now more the muscle. So this is medium. It's more about the muscle feeling. And so just to notice the difference, you're massaging the muscle. It's more dense. It's more physical. And so for the whole body orgasm leading to it, we are more aware of the lightness. It's more of this subtle quality. And it's so beautiful to play with both. And so I invite you to, with your partner, for the couples, you can have one of you can lay face down, and you can scratch up and down the body, or just caress up and down the body. And then you can press with medium pressure up the back, but never over the bones of the spine, the spinous processes, and then play with the different types of touch. So this is what we do to ourselves. So I could be firm with my touch, touching my waist, my belly, firm, that more masculine action. And then I could do light. And the more you play with these energies of the light and the deep, the medium pressure, you're stimulating your brain to feel pleasurable, loving, nurturing, kindness. It's all safe. And so your body's going to have more stimulation for these pleasure areas, and it's going to build. It's called neuroplasticity. So let's just say that you never touch your partner. You never play with massage. You don't touch yourself. Your brain is going to have not many neurons for pleasure. And let's just say you work a lot. You're very, very goal-oriented, very outcome-oriented. I want to be successful. I want to do the best in my business. And you just never make time to massage yourself, to pleasure yourself. The pleasure hormone that's stimulated when we do caressing is called oxytocin. And that is the love hormone. It's also the bonding hormone, the focus hormone. It is the connection hormone. And when we massage ourselves, we're actually amplifying the level of this hormone circulating in our blood. And so you're going to be naturally more able to focus, connect with people. You're also going to be more expressive, because if you think about it, connection causes us to be more expressive. We have to express ourselves to connect. And so oxytocin helps to focus also, and it stimulates endorphin release. And the endorphins are the natural painkillers in the body. So if you have chronic tension, pain, discomfort, you're going to have less of it because you have more oxytocin circulating in your blood. So this is really important for wellness, healing, empowerment. to have some type of a self massage, self breath expand ritual that you do in your day. So in the morning, you can wake up and stay in bed a little longer and just, hello, genitals. Hello, pleasure spots. I am deciding to wake up and focus on pleasure, kindness, love, appreciation with my body. And not just my physical body, but my energetic body. And so we connect with the energetic body with that microcosmic orbit breath. So you do, let's just say 10 or 20 of those, get centered, get connected. And remember that you are 99% energy. I decide to wake up feeling activated, energized, inspired, clear, focused, full of love flowing through my body. I decide to have an amazing day. I decide to be open to my whole body, feeling energetic, feeling that beautiful sexual creative energy, the energy of love. Remember, your sexual energy is the energy of love. That's why when you have sex with somebody that you just met, or you have sex way too soon, you actually think you're in love with that person and you don't even know them. Have you ever been in love with someone that you literally only had sex with them and you don't even know who they are really? And you're like, I'm in love. Yeah, because you're having orgasms together. And so that's what it's going to do. The more you do this to yourself, you're going to be also having amazing orgasms because you're increasing the hormone of orgasm. And so oxytocin, that's our best friend. How can I amplify it? Diaphragmatic breathing. Singing stimulates oxytocin. Eye contact, eye gazing. And this is an exercise you can do with yourself in the morning. Look at yourself in the morning when you're brushing your teeth. After you brush your teeth, you can just pause and take 5 deep breaths and look at yourself. Look at your eyes in the mirror and just tell yourself, good morning, I love you. I'm so grateful that we're here. I decide to have an amazing day, regardless of what's going on around me. And so when you breathe and you feel, you're becoming present and you're deciding to radiate love, acceptance, whatever it is that you want to create. So I highly recommend every time you wash your hands and you go to the bathroom, look in the mirror at yourself. Because you're going to go to the bathroom, I'm sure, a couple times a day, right? And so this is what I do. I have rituals. I call them functional spiritual moments where I am amping up my oxytocin. Remember, I told you eye gazing, massage, breath, diaphragmatic. And so use everyday mundane activities as opportunities to amp up your oxytocin. Singing, eye gazing, massage, diaphragmatic breathing, dancing. How many of you dance in the shower or put on some music and you're like getting dressed for work? What do I want to wear today? Maybe you're not going somewhere, but dress up as if you're having a party anyway, because how you feel is how you're going to attract. And so the other one is gratitude. What are you grateful for? Every single morning, you can just wake up asking yourself, what am I grateful for? And so you're focusing on love, gratitude, present moment, feelings, sensations. All of these are going to prep you to have an amazing orgasmic experience when it comes time to having that experience. If you are judging, criticizing, analyzing, if you're in lack, if you're worrying, if you're frustrated, if you're judging, if you're not accepting, that's going to lower your oxytocin and it's going to increase your cortisol levels. When you have high cortisol levels, you have high stress response hormone, and that hormone is created in your adrenal glands above your kidneys. And so your low back, if it ever feels as though it's burning or it's tight and tired, put your hands there. So this is a way for you to raise your libido by lowering your cortisol. High chronic stress, high worry, anxiety, fear, lack, scarcity, not accepting, judging, criticizing, analyzing is going to amplify your chronic stress hormone. the sympathetic nervous system. It's called cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And so if you feel that, you judge yourself, you criticize, you analyze yourself, you have a hard time being in your body, do this. I'm just stroking my back. And pretend that you have lungs in your back. So let's do this together. We're going to breathe awareness into our low back. And you're going to say, I am safe and supported. Safe and supported. As you stroke yourself, I am safe and supported. Medium pressure for this one. It's not light, it's medium. Chronic stress hormone makes you feel very contracted and dense and physical. Love makes you feel light and free, expansive and light and free, and expansive and light and free. Light is love. And when you have high cortisol, high stress hormone, the libido, it's not there. You will not want to make love. Your erection is not going to be strong when you have a lot of stress, chronic stress. When you're in lack and you worry, sex is not your priority. Unless, of course, you want to have a release, and that's why you want to have sex. But to make love and be expansive and have this experience of energy flowing through your body and you're touching the creative divine force, you know, that whole thing is not going to happen when you're chronically stressed out. And so if you want to have more of a libido and like a natural joie de vivre and radiance, you may want to start with really nurturing your low back and lowering that cortisol. Feeling safe and supported is a way to lower your stress hormone, because a lot of us do not feel safe and we don't feel supported. We feel like we have nobody to lean on, and that's why our back is on fire. And so this is where spirituality, believing in a higher power, or feeling that nature is supporting us, someone other than myself is supporting me. Basically, that's the gift of spirituality. Connecting to your heart and your soul and something bigger than us, right? That we're all a part of. And so we're going to lay down now, and I'm going to transition you into the steps to whole body orgasm, where the foundation is to lower your stress hormone and raise your love hormone. And so when you do anything, you always want to start with feeling safe and supported, regardless of whether it's making love, having sex, or going to work, making a meal, going to the bathroom, going to sleep, having lunch with a friend. All of those activities that we do, we want to begin feeling safe and supported. Safe and supported to do anything in your life, anything. So ask yourself, do I feel safe and supported? Or am I in chronic scarcity and lack and I don't have enough? If you want a whole body orgasm, you're going to want to focus on step number 1, feeling safe and supported. Because you're just going to be trying all these exercises of whatever, but you're not going to get it because you don't feel safe and supported. It's so important for us to feel that we are safe with our partners also, and that you can just be like a wild animal. Because if you're feeling that your husband's going to judge you, or your wife is going to judge you because you want to lick their toe or lick their ass, you know, do something that might not be conventional sexually, it's really important for sexual freedom to be felt, you know, and for you to speak about your fears, your intentions, your desires, fears, intentions, and desires with your sexual partner, your partner, to talk about what would you like to create with me? You know, what does a healthy sex life mean for you? What is that for you? What do you value the most, you know, when it comes to sex? How do you like to sex? It's so beautiful to have a sexual conversation, talking about it, and then feeling that you could really be expressing. And so this is also allowing you to be vulnerable and emotionally available. And this is another aspect when it comes to having whole body orgasm. Vulnerability is our superpower. Vulnerability means that you're revealing your innermost truth. And a lot of us, we don't even know what that is because we're so used to protecting ourselves. We're so used to living guarded and unsafe. So the vulnerability will not come until we feel safe and supported. And then when you are vulnerable, it's so sexy. It makes you feel safe and it makes your partner feel safe. For you to really be honest in the truth of who you are and show yourself and allow yourself to be seen. That's vulnerability. If you have shame or guilt, or you're hiding something that you have not let go of, that's going to get in the way of your whole body orgasm. And so you could take a moment right now and lay down, get your massage oil, and we're going to ask ourselves, am I holding on to shame? Am I ashamed of something I've done? Or is there something about my body that I'm ashamed about? And so, for example, let's just say that you have a lot of stretch marks in your stomach, ladies, or you maybe you didn't shave your legs, and you're ashamed. You're like, oh God. Or maybe you have cellulite and you're naked and you're like, turn off the lights, So that is going to turn on the stress hormone. For the men, sometimes men think they're small, they're not big enough. So men judge their size or the way it looks and themselves. And so you're not really going to be able to be safe and supported and expand and vulnerable if you're judging yourself. And so you can ask yourself, what don't I accept about myself? Where am I judging my body? What do I judge about myself? Is there something I don't accept about myself? Am I holding on to hurts of the past? All of that is going to come into play with your sex and your ability to whole body orgasm. And so to whole body orgasm and allow the energy to flow, we want to feel that we are open, that we are willing to be open and to be seen and available to whatever emotions arise, and welcome those emotions, feel those emotions. And the best thing you could do is not analyze what you're feeling. Sometimes when we're having sex with our partner, we may start to think of somebody else, maybe an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, something of the past, and then we're like, oh my God, why am I thinking about that person? So the best thing you could do is tantra. Feel whatever comes up, welcome it, invite it, flow it. And so we use our sounds. To flow your emotions, to keep the energy flowing. And so let's take some breaths. You're not necessarily doing microcosmic orbit now. You're just going to breathe and you do So we're going to do this 5 times. We're going to inhale. Getting used to inhaling and exhaling sound. And this is a way of helping to move the energy. When you're feeling that orgasmic bliss moving through your body, you're helping it to move with your sounds. And it could just be, it doesn't have to be a loud sound. It could just be a sigh. And so lay down now, and we're going to transition into an experience with the massage oil, where we're going to explore our bodies and amp up our sexual energy. And I'm assuming everybody's laying down now, and you're going to take some oil, put it on your hands. And we're going to start with massaging the heart. So you're naked. You're going to start with the awareness on your chest. Eyes are closed, and you're feeling, how does my heart feel? Gentlemen, before you get your heart on, get your heart on. And ladies, before you allow yourself to get juicy and wet and engorged in your vagina and your lips, your labias, get your heart on. And so an open heart allows more blood to flow to the genitals. And so we want to have this heart to genitals connection. And so I invite you to massage your chest, medium pressure, massage your solar plexus, massage your throat, breathing and expanding. We're combining all these things at once. You're just laying down doing this. The heart, the solar plexus, the throat. You can also caress your face. You're doing this to yourself. Breath, movement, intention, awareness. And now you're going to move one of your hands, keep one at the heart, and move down to your abdomen and to your genitals. And you're just stroking over your waist, your abdomen, your genitals. And so we're really awakening this whole part of the body, physically and energetically, through the breath. And of course, you can stimulate your nipples, scratch. You're arousing, you're turning yourself on. And the breath helps you to feel more the energy. How does my heart feel? Does my heart feel open? And so now we're going to go down to our genitals, and you're just going to stroke over your genitals. Keep one hand on the heart, the other one over the genitals. And then allowing yourself to feel pleasure stroking yourself. And so right now we're on the outside, stroking on the outside, gentlemen and ladies. It's not really any specific point. You're just caressing over. So it might stroke over your wand of light, or your labias, or your clitoris, or your testicles. And so it's a general just up and down. It's not about just the tip of your penis or just your prostate. It's just generalized. You're just caressing over your pubic area, staying connected to your heart also. Eyes are closed, and you're feeling the connection between your heart and your sexual organs, sexual parts. Feeling that whole body. How is that causing me to feel? Feeling everything. And notice there might be thoughts. So you just come back to the present moment. I'm here. I'm here. And so now I'm going to just explain for the ladies first. Let's pretend that this is your labia, your lips. So here's your vagina. This is my vagina image. You're going to start to stroke up and down your lips. Just pretend these are your lips. We have the outer lips. These are the labia majora. These are the fat lips on the outside. And so with each hand, you can stroke up and down your lips. You can even pull the lips. And you could also caress thumb and index finger over the lips. Deep breath in. And you already know your clitoris, most likely. So you know there's 9,000 nerve endings for pleasure. There's a hood to the clitoris. So you can lift the hood up, expose it. So there's another class that I teach about sexual body anatomy. For the purpose of this class is a generalized stroking. And so you explore yourself, and it's going to turn you on. It's going to make your vagina juicier, more liquidy. You'll feel it. And so I'm going to just explain a little the G spot because that's something someone wanted to know. Let's just pretend that I'm laying down. Here's my vagina. And you're going to finger yourself, put your finger inside the second joint. You see how here's my first joint of my finger where it bends. And then here's the second. Usually that's the distance. And on the upper roof, you feel the upper roof of the vagina canal. And that's usually where the G spot is. So if this was my vagina, I would be putting my finger inside, and the upper roof, there's a corrugated rough surface right behind the pubic bone when you enter. And it feels like the pit of a peach. It's not smooth, it's a little rough. And that's where your G spot is. And it's very delineated. So you can tell that it feels different. And if you go as a windshield wiper right to left, you're twisting your forearm, you'll notice how it feels different on the sides of your vagina than it does on the upper roof. And it actually feels that it swells. It's a gland. This is your G spot, and it's analogous to the prostate for a man. And so this actually fills up with fluids. I call them pleasure fluids. And so when a woman squirts, these are the fluids that are passing through her urethra. It is not urine, it's pleasure juice. And so a technique to stimulate the G spot when you have two fingers inside, it's called come hither when it's just one. So it's like you're pulling out just the tip of the finger. And you could actually do as if you're walking with two fingers. And as you do that, you can, so you're stimulating your inside, your fingers inside, you're stimulating your G spot. And remember, if you want more information on how to do this, I do one-on-one private coaching via Zoom, and we get really intimate, and you really get to learn where this is, okay? For some women to get to there, some women have had trauma, their vagina is very tight, there's a lot of trigger points around the vagina. The vagina is the canal, it's the tunnel, it's smooth muscle. And so for some women, it's literally tightened, it's contracted. Some women have had things happen to them, abortions, fibroids, endometriosis, miscarriages, painful sex. And so there's a lot of different things that happen in here. If these walls could talk, we hold memories in our muscles. It's amazing. And so I'm just teaching you some things today because one of you want to know G-spot. So that's how you can find it. And so for the gentleman, it's beautiful for you to do different directions of stimulating her prostate, her G-spot, up and down, windshield wiper, circularly, and breathe. Gentlemen, while you're fingering her, while you're stimulating her, you breathe up into your heart, and that connects your whole being in that present moment. And it feels different than you trying to make her orgasm and trying to get her to feel pleasure. So you get to receive yourself, and you get to massage her and create this pleasurable touch. And so you really don't have to do so much. I think we overdo it a lot of times, and it's just a metaphor for how we're living our lives. So Howie sex is Howie everything. What if less is more? There's more of you in it. So you're not just a finger, you're a whole beautiful, sacred, divine, amazing, creative, life force energy being that has a finger. And this is a wand of energy. And so you're bringing yourself into a different place. And then for the gentleman, this is a wand of energy. And so when you're penetrating your goddess, you can actually breathe awareness up your body and out your wand of light. And think of it as a light, in the Star Wars, how they have that light sphere. And so you can feel yourself as energetic beings dancing in this energy of expansion. And so for whole body orgasm, there comes a point where you're stimulating and you're expanding and you're feeling good, which we're not going to masturbate together for the class. I'm sharing with you how to get there. And then when this is over, I invite you to use these principles that I've taught you, these strategies, and allow yourself to really stimulate the pleasure. It intensifies. And there's going to come a point where you're so in the moment that you forgot that you're supposed to do anything. And there's this movement inside that's just activated. That's the Kundalini rising. And then you allow it. You'll be guided. It'll be this allowing of all that creativity that you've sparked it. It's like turning on a match, and the spark ignites. And then you just allow it, and you can keep on. And honestly, you can just breathe. You can allow your breath and focusing on the connection between your sex up your body. And so you can literally just lay down and breathe and expand and allow, and this energy will amplify. And I'm going to end with final beautiful technique to really get you going. You're going to squeeze and relax your pelvic floor now. So you could put your hand over your pubic symphysis and feel what happens when you squeeze and relax your pelvic floor. Between your pubic bone and your tailbone, you have these muscles that is where your urethra passes through and your anus. The pelvic floor, it's hammock shaped. And so squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax, pelvic floor. When we orgasm, it pulsates. And this just happens, it's a reflex. You're not consciously pulsating it, it just happens. So if you want to invite more orgasm energy, you're going to consciously contract and relax, fast pulsations. And so notice, how does it feel for me to contract and relax my pelvic floor? Does it feel pleasurable? Or am I not even sure how to contract it? And that I coach people privately, separately, how to, and I have yoni healing and sexual empowerment, empower your pelvic floor. So there's 3 layers to the pelvic floor. It's called Explore Your Pelvic Floor. So that's another program if you want to dive deeper into really understanding. Sometimes women have incontinence, or they're not very strong and they don't know how to strengthen it. So we have 3 different layers to that muscle. And so it really helps us to understand better which layer is in need of strengthening. And then there's different ways of contracting it, which is beyond the scope of this class. And so if you want to dive deeper into that, I highly recommend scheduling a clarity call and learning more, because this is a part of your body. This is the foundation of you, your pelvic floor. It holds your organs in place. And a lot of people, when they're 80, 70, they lose control of their bowels, but it is totally preventable, keeping this muscle strong. There's no reason why people can't have fun orgasmic bliss till their last breath. You never lose your libido just because you're aging. That's not true. You always have your libido. It's how much of a priority are you making it to awaken to your energetic body and whole body orgasm. And so I just want to thank you all for having this introduction to awakening your energetic body. And to summarize what we went through, you're going to begin with feeling safe and supported, leaning back and allowing yourself to be open to surrendering to this experience of creating more flow of your breath through your body with the microcosmic orbit breath, sitting, inhaling the back of your body to your third eye, and then exhale down. Do 10 of those. Centered, present moment awareness. You're no longer in your head. You got into your body. And then explore pleasure in your body. Where do I feel the most electric? the most pleasure. And then creating your own massage, whether it's scratching, medium pressure, touching, caressing. So you're awakening the connection to your whole body as pleasure, energy, through the connection with your breath, expanding up to your heart. And then when you're ready to go to your sexual organs, sexual stimulating, you can breathe. Breathe from your heart to your genitals, genitals to heart. Creating that connection before your heart on, get your heart on. Using your sounds. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. And then get your massage oil and start to massage yourself as you're breathing with awareness upwards. And then stroking yourself where you feel guided. And honestly, less is more. You can squeeze and relax your pelvic floor also to stimulate, mimicking orgasm. Quick pulsations. Pulsate, pulsate. Squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax. Keep squeezing and relaxing and take deep breaths. So you're squeezing and relaxing pelvic floor and And we spoke about eye gazing, looking in how to amp up our oxytocin, because the more love hormone we have circulating, the more easier it's going to be that we will invite orgasmic flow, this kundalini rising that eventually happens to you. Energy just starts to want to flow through you. If you allow it, if you're chronically tense, your sexual energy is going to be like, well, it has nowhere to go because your jaw's super tense, your shoulders are tense, you feel like a board. So those type of people, massage your low back first. I'm just summarizing everything we did. And so you want to begin with, I feel safe and supported. I'm open to being vulnerable and emotionally available and allowing everything that I feel to flow through my body. Open channel. I'm open. And for the gentlemen, if you want to learn more about your prostate and how to orgasm through your prostate, message me and I will be sharing, through private one-on-one how to locate your prostate. The goal is, as we massage the G-spot, to massage the prostate, and men to breathe up their spine as they're touching their prostate. And their prostate that is behind your testicles and in front of your anus. That's on the outside. You can feel it on the outside. And so you would want to do the same exact thing with the G-spot, pressing in and noticing, how does my prostate feel? Behind your testicles, in front of your anus, there's a smooth place where there's no testicle and there's no anus. That's the bridge, is the prostate area on the outside. And so for some men, it's very tight. Men that sit a lot, they're at the computer a lot, they're not feeling safe and supported. They're like, oh my God, my income flow, or they don't feel they have enough, or they put a lot of pressure on themselves. So they have a tight ass and they have a tight root chakra. There's a lot of blockage, a lot of density. And so remember, we breathe and expand down there. And you can massage and breathe and expand to your heart. And then there's this whole series with the scrotum, the sac pulling on the testicles, not the actual balls, but the skin. And so you never want to pull the actual testicles. And so that's another class that I offer, where I teach the pleasure of testicular massage. It's beautiful. It's all oxytocin, parasympathetic stimulation. And so when you have pleasurable massage, stimulating your genitals, the sides of your waist, your nipples, you're creating more oxytocin, which is the love hormone, healing hormone. you're going to have a better night's sleep. You're going to regenerate. You're going to have a stronger immunity. You're going to have balanced hormones because your cortisol is not going to be as elevated. Your oxytocin, that's the regeneration hormone, the healing hormone, the emotional release hormone, the orgasm hormone, the sleep helps us to sleep hormone to be creative. And so technically, doctors could prescribe sacred, sensual, pleasurable stimulation to the body as a form of chronic stress release. Neurophysiologically speaking, it makes perfect sense. But I'm not talking about, I have to come, make me come. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pleasurable massage, stimulating the pleasure points, increases your parasympathetic nervous system flow, the oxytocin, the feel-good hormones, the natural painkillers. And so you're just doing it because you want to feel good. And that will make you eventually, if you're stimulating the genitals and you're feeling the love, woo, orgasm just happens. It just happens. If you put all these things together that I have taught you together and practice, orgasm happens. It's not something you have to make it happen. It just does happen. And so this is really living surrendered, allowing, being open to receiving, being comfortable in the unknown, being available, feeling safe and supported, being vulnerable, intimate, and the eye gazing, dancing and singing, playing an instrument. These are all different ways to get us in the flow. And so write to me and let me know how your practice, your sensual, sacred pleasure practice works for you. And if you want any more tips, strategies, learn more about your sexual body anatomy specifically for you. If you want to learn how to process your emotional pain or traumas in your body tissues, if it's difficult for you to touch yourself or allow yourself to be really receiving your pleasure, or if you feel you're too much in your head and not enough in your body, message me and I would love to offer you a free 15-minute clarity call if you want to learn how to work with me. And there's a lot you can do to shift your sex life, your energetic, orgasmic feeling in your body. All this required is that you decide that that's something you want to get a PhD in. And so I am opening the Conscious Sex Academy. It's going to be this hub online where you can take classes and you can really empower yourself to know yourself in a deeper, more intimate way. And connecting to your orgasm connects you to your creativity. And that's what we are. We are creative beings. And so the more we align with our sex, the more we're actually aligning with what our nature is to be, which is creative, miraculous and magical and blissful. Thank you so much for being with me in this class, and let me know how it benefit you. I invite you, if you want to chat, write in the comments section and share this class with a friend, share this information with a friend. Let's spread the love. My mission is to empower us, to own our power, own our sexual power. There's a grand misuse of sexual power on this planet. Many things that it's just not, people are not aware of how they can be their own source of light. And so there's being a lot of exploiting women, children, and I don't stand for this. I stand for transformation and healing on the planet and lots of compassion for people that misuse it. So thank you so much. And let me know also if there's any other topics that you want me to create videos about or classes. The Conscious Sex Academy is going to be a place where people can learn healthy sexual practices that are empowering and that come from a pure, positive, expansive, empowering place, where it's about healing our sexuality, empowering our sexuality, and then harnessing it to create our dream life and co-create and allow Creator to create through us. And that's what I definitely feel super called to share. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful night.